What's going on, guys, and welcome back to F1 2021 for My Team Career Mode, round number 8 of Season 4, the Hungarian Grand Prix. So we start this one a little bit different. We're actually going to be changing the car livery for the rest of the season. We'll probably be running this one for the rest of this season. We might switch it up in 4 races time or so. But basically I thought I wasn't the biggest fan of the current livery we've gone for. And I got a couple of pretty cool looking liveries, I thought, from the current podium pass. So I decided to change it up because this will definitely be the last season of My Team Career Mode on F1 2021. It is only just over a month away until F1 22 comes out. So I'm not going to get a chance to do another season after this. So we will be ending after this season. So I thought, you know what, let's, some of these liveries and things are going to get wasted otherwise. So let's just change it up for the rest of the season. We might change it up again later on, like I said, but yeah, just to have it be a little bit different and mix things up a little bit on the on that front. Unfortunately, I forgot to change the driver overall livery, so we're going to be still running the same gold and black overalls, but the car will be different. So that's just for this race because I forgot to do that. Looking at the R&D, we're all pretty much right up there at the top. Alpine are actually now closing up to the top group as well, so it's going to be very tight here. And well, Hungary, a track that I've struggled with very much so in the passes on our quick lap here in Q1. Get a little bit held up by Hamilton up ahead, who's just come out of the pits, but he does let us pass. But that definitely would have lost us a little bit of time there. Not a lot, but a little bit. And yeah, we have struggled here a lot. I think in Season 1 we had our first ever mechanical failure here. In Season 2 we just didn't have a great race from what I remember. I don't think we finished in the points. We might have just, but it wasn't great. And then Season 3 we didn't come here, and then now we're here in Season 4. So yeah, it's not one of my best tracks. And as you can see, probably from the fact that we're watching this whole replay so far, we go out in Q1 here. Fastest car on the grid on paper, and we don't make it past Q1. Now, I used the AI difficulty calculator again, and I actually did a little bit of a test after this to see how good it was, because basically with the calculator, you get a Mercedes, standard Mercedes, and put it on equal car performance and do a time trial run. That then, tells you what difficulty you should run at, but with the My Team Career car, when it gets to a certain level, when it's really quick, it's harder to drive in a lot of ways, and it doesn't really work out. So this AI difficulty is correct if I was running a standard car, but this is the issue why we're not having it so well within this career mode. But yep, we're out in Q1, so let's see what happens in this race.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically a good race for first victories, with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about Shaw. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Giovinazzi, Sergio Perez and Hamilton, Gasly, Verstappen, Joe and Lando Norris, Tsunoda, Stroll, Sebastian Vettel and Eilert, Ocon, Lundgaard, Nicholas Latifi and Shaw, Matsushita, Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Alright, so here we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix in Season 4 to 5 red lights. And they're on for quite a long time here, but away we go. We get a perfect start. I don't know, I just absolutely hit the button at the perfect point, the best start I've ever had. But then for whatever reason, we massively lose it in the second phase, overtaken by Latifi and Matsushita, but then we pounce up the inside into turn 1, up the inside now of Christian Lundgaard and Esteban Ocon in the Alpines, and we managed to get past Ocon, but Lundgaard just ahead of us there, as we don't get quite as good of a run off that corner. And now we're just having a look, seeing what we can do to Lundgaard and the cars ahead, but we've managed to get a decent enough start here, up into P16 from a start of P18, so it's not been a great qualifying at all here, considering where our car should be on pace. But yeah, like I said, the difficulty calculator just kind of, it works for when you have like a standard car. Like I did a test and it worked out perfectly, I was where I should have been. But when you know, scale it up to the My Team cars and everybody becomes a lot closer with car development and stuff, it doesn't really work quite as well. So you have to somewhat adjust for that in certain circumstances. So especially on certain tracks, some tracks it actually works pretty well on. You guys have seen that in the videos these last couple of seasons. But yeah, on other tracks, mostly the tracks that I just am not as good at, that have quite a lot of faster corners actually, because it wants you to like take them really pretty much flat out with some corners with the fully upgraded car. But then with the kind of standard cars, you take them with a bit of a brake, and it's just easier to drive, and yeah, it kind of screws things around. But anyway, we carry on as we look at the start once again from the front of the field. Carlos Sainz started on pole position here, and into turn 1 it's 3 wide with the 2 Ferraris and George Russell, my teammate as well. But Charles Leclerc has managed to get up into the lead from P2 on the grid. He's overtaken his teammate into turn 1. Of course, he is the lead Ferrari driver by a considerable margin at the moment, currently second in the championship. So yeah, he's looking for a good run, and he's up into the lead straight away, as we're now having a look around the outside of what I guess is turn 2, turn 3 maybe, of Christian Lundgaard, but we can't quite get him there. But we get a really good run out of the next corner. This is a scary moment to go side by side. We try and keep it alongside, but we accidentally slightly tag him out of that corner. But I think I'm going to have a look at the damage. Didn't pop up with any damage, so I think we got away with that. But yeah, very risky there, just really wanting to make my way through the field, as Lundgaard has a little bit of a lockup, but it doesn't really affect anything. I had a little look there once that happened, but couldn't really do anything. I can tell I'm definitely quicker than these guys on race pace here. It always tends to be the case, and I do actually usually put the difficulty down a couple of steps. You know, when I've had a qualifying this bad, I've got to at least get it better, you know, so I do change it a little bit. As now into turn 1 on lap number 4, we're going to have a look up the inside of Lundgaard. We're going to have a big dive, but it's too big of a dive, and we've made contact with him, and this time we have damage on the front wing. We're just getting overly aggressive here, trying to make our way through the grid, and we've got damage on the front wing thanks to that dive bomb. And now well, we're getting told to come into the pits, where we are of course going to do that. We're now really not great. I mean, it's not a whole lot of damage, but it's enough that Ocon now manages to get past us as well. We kind of somewhat just let him through, because I thought, well, I mean, you can see how much it's understeering here. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not good. I mean, we're being caught now by Latifi in the Alfa Romeo, which is one thing, but also the Williams coming through as well. So we kind of let Latifi go. He's a little bit awkward, not really very quick through the corner there, trying to let him go through without losing too much time ourselves. I mean, we're going to come into the pits, but we still want to lose as little time as we can here. So as we come in, we're going to drop right to the back all our hard work at the start, which, to be fair, we only made up like 2 positions off the start, but it's all been for nothing really. And we come in on lap number, well, start of lap number 5 for our front wing change. Here we go, and a new set of tyres. We've gone onto the soft tyres, because originally this was going to be a one stop from mediums to hards, but it's never going to happen now with having to come in this early. I've got to switch onto a 2-stop. It was going to be too much, I think, to go onto the hards. We probably could have done it, but I just don't think our pace would have been there at the end of the race. So we've gone onto a set of soft tyres. We're going to try an aggressive 2-stop here, and as Matsushita comes out of the pits, we just about managed to get out in front of him. So thankfully we've kind of made that position back up again, thanks to just our better pace, just generally, and also on the soft tyres, of course. As we now have a look at Carlos Sainz coming out of the pits here. All the front runners now come into the pits, and he comes out just in the lead, because, well, technically Carlos Sainz is now in the lead. Charles Leclerc was in the lead, and now the 2 Ferraris going wheel to wheel once again. We've seen a lot of this season, although the 2 of them are miles different in the championship at the moment. Sainz is starting to catch up a little bit, but yeah, he's still not getting the better of his teammate. But when these two are having a good race, and you know, when Sainz is actually there and not having an issue, he is battling with his teammate quite a lot. We've seen it quite a bit of side-by-side action between the two Ferraris, as we now are looking at going for a move on, I think, Mick Schumacher in the first Haas. So although we got past Matsushita, he must have had an issue as well, because he's dropped behind both the Haas cars and is now right at the bottom of the grid. But we get past Schumacher, and now we've got Mazepin up ahead. To be honest though, actually no, we've got Lundgaard up ahead, because I think maybe the Haas's have not actually come into the pits yet. They're still on their starting medium tyres, so maybe it's not all bad for Matsushita as we go for a dive bomb on Christian Lundgaard right there. We're trying to get the move back on him, and we've made it happen. After the terrible woes of going up the inside of him last time and getting that damage on the front wing, this time around we've made it happen, and now we're stuck behind Mazepin, and we're just going to try and carry the momentum we can through here. We're going to dive on the inside of the chicane and get that move done. We're just trying to go as quick as we can. We're pretty much the quickest man on the track right now, as you can see, purple first sector, because of the soft tyres.
Just yet, but we've seen a problem at our end. We're looking into it.
And that is not the radio message I wanted to hear at this current point in time, that's for sure.
Okay, we have a severe engine issue. Find a safe space to retire or return to the pits. Again, find somewhere safe to stop. We need you to retire.
But that is it for this race. It's another DNF at the Hungarian Grand Prix. This track seems to be cursed for us. We're either just way off the pace, or we have an engine issue. We're out of the race. In a way, fair enough, it's our first of the season, and it happens at a point where we really weren't looking good anyway, but still, it's unfortunate.
With that, we wrap up yet another incredible Grand Prix weekend. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
So George Russell ends up winning the Grand Prix, the Hungarian Grand Prix. So it's another win for him. That makes it 2 for me, 2 for him. We're the only drivers to get 2 wins so far this season. And it's a Ferrari 2-3 with Charles Leclerc second and Carlos Sainz third. So pretty reasonable top 3 there, kind of what you expected. But yeah, Russell moving ahead of the 2 Ferraris in the end. And of course that gives him a great chance in the championship now. It's going to boost him way up. Also Charles Leclerc second with the fastest lap as well. So that's another extra point coming on us there. Of course, we DNF'd, only driver to DNF from this race actually, so that's pretty unfortunate for us. Down in P22, of course. We're still leading the championship, but now we're only, I believe that's 9 points or maybe 8 points, I can't quite read it, ahead of Charles Leclerc in second. George Russell has moved up to third in the championship, so he is now well in the hunt, only 14 points behind, and then Sergio Perez in fourth with 18 points behind, I think that is. So we've now got, it looks like 3 drivers within a winning race distance of points between us now at the top of the championship, so it's getting a little bit closer at the midway point. TGR Motorsports still lead the Constructors' Championship, but Ferrari now jump up to second, Red Bull stay in third, and McLaren drop to fourth. That second, third, fourth between Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren is always chopping and changing around, which is very exciting too. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Obviously, a much shorter one this time because we didn't get much racing in, but that's what happens sometimes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.